Welcome to this edition of Head to Head. I'm your host, Cam McKinney, and this is episode number 349 of the podcast. And on this episode, I'm talking about the upcoming Super Bowl. For the seventh straight year, I'm here to talk about the Super Bowl. This year's matchup sees a rematch from 2 Super Bowls ago, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The right place to start is with everyone's strong opinions on the Kansas City Chiefs. There's a real divide between people who are overseeing this team that has a chance of a three-peat, and I'm with this group. Teams, no matter how good, can become tiring to see over and over again. I'm from New England, and the conversation here is about how fans are upset at the idea of the Chiefs replacing the Patriots as the sport's premier dynasty. I don't have those thoughts. I just want to see other people thrive. I'm someone who likes parity in sports. I want to see the Josh Allens of the world win a Super Bowl. I want to see the Joe Burrows also get a ring, and I want to see the Lamar Jacksons get their due as well. Because yes, while there are some rational football analysts out there who say we can't blame Josh Allen for not winning because he's living in the era of Patrick Mahomes, the way that many NBA players were living through the Jordan years. That's fair analysis, but a lot of them are down on Josh Allen until he gets his own Super Bowl title, and that may never happen as long as he's going up against the likes of Patrick Mahomes. So yeah, I'm on one side of things when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. I am tired of seeing them have success, and I have no issues if you are not. My problem is the NFL media members trying to tell fans how to feel about the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's what CBS NFL analyst Nate Burleson had to say about the Chiefs and the backlash towards them. Quote, "You are witnessing greatness and just be happy that you are alive to be there to see it." End quote. I think Nate Burleson is a very good analyst. He is better than 99.9% of all of the NFL analysts out there. But my problem with that particular analysis is I just think he's somebody who wants everything going on with his sport to be viewed in a positive light. Burleson just feels like a football can do no wrong kind of a guy. And look, you won. It's the most popular sport in America, but that doesn't necessarily mean we are living in the golden age of it. I can respect a great team and not like watching them win. The two sides are so extreme right now, it's becoming tiring. And yes, there were people who were completely done with the New England Patriots as well, but I think that was coming from hardcore football fans. The noise around the Chiefs are louder. They have infiltrated the culture because you can't escape the never-ending talk about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, and you see the clips of his podcast with his brother all the time, and people are putting all of their feelings on the oversaturation of Travis Kelce into the entire team of the Kansas City Chiefs. And while it might not be fair, I believe that to be the case, and it's where I'm at. We can debate all we want if they're a good product on the field. I mean, I haven't been very excited watching them play this season, but they're without a doubt a great football team who wins games in crunch time. I'm just, as a viewer, no longer interested in any of the individuals involved. And it's not because I have some great fear that Patrick Mahomes is going to one day become a better quarterback than Tom Brady. That's not my problem with him. I don't even have a problem with him. It is more of the Travis Kelce thing. Like, I'm just kind of tired of watching that guy on TV all of the time. Maybe it's not fair to give him this label, but he's kind of the Draymond Green of the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, the Golden State Warriors were winning at a very high rate, but then all of a sudden, we as a society grew tired of Draymond Green. I'm just kind of tired of Travis Kelce. But who cares about my actual opinions about Travis Kelce? He's probably going to end his career as the greatest tight end of all time, and he's winning in life, and he's winning in football. I'm not saying my feelings are right or wrong. I'm just saying they are my feelings, and I know a lot of you have those same feelings, and I know a lot of you don't. And I'll throw this in. I don't even blame Travis Kelce. I don't think he's the villain. I think it's the way that the media talks about him and the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs. And this take doesn't even involve Travis Kelce. It's Stephen A. Smith once again going on ESPN and saying if Patrick Mahomes wins this Super Bowl, he will be better than Tom Brady. My problem with that is I don't even believe the words that are coming out of Stephen A. Smith's mouth. I just think he's being the take lord that he wants to be, and that's fine. I'm just getting really annoyed by it, and I think people are using the Chiefs to give strong opinions and to gain attention. I saw Nick Wright of Fox Sports 1 celebrating the fact that he was right about the Kansas City Chiefs. It's like, dude, who was saying you were wrong? It was obvious we were going to get here with the Chiefs. They were always destined to get back to the Super Bowl. Yes, did I want another outcome? Did I want Josh Allen in this game? Absolutely. But don't act like a great prognosticator because you predicted the Kansas City Chiefs were going to make it back to the Super Bowl. Like, you don't get credit for that. I believe the media is just being way more annoying than usual when it comes to the topic of the Kansas City Chiefs. On the other hand, you have the Philadelphia Eagles, where all the negative chatter is about their head coach Nick Sirianni and quarterback Jalen Hurts, who, by the way, are going to their second Super Bowl together. All these endless arguments about how good they are is also just getting old to me. Like, I don't care if you believe Nick Sirianni is a good head coach or a bad NFL head coach. The reality is the man's been to 2 Super Bowls. I think we should just stop talking about him. I don't know why we have so many strong feelings about Nick Sirianni. Like, I've come from a time where we used to just watch the sports and the guys would coach and we wouldn't talk that much about who the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles is. Like, why are we so obsessed with this guy? He's just a normal dude who's the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's having a lot of success. I don't have a strong opinion on him. He's just a guy winning football games. And as for Jalen Hurts, I think he's a talented quarterback. Again, all this entire debate, is he a top 10 quarterback? I don't know the answer to that. All I know is he's going to his second Super Bowl. He's the right quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I think Nick Sirianni, obviously right now, is the right head coach for that team. I just don't know where we as sports fans became so obsessed with getting credit for the winning. Wasn't the winning enough? Like, this kind of became a thing with the Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen thing. Oh, Michael could win without Scottie, but Scottie could never win without Michael. Like, we just became so obsessed with that. I don't care who gets credit. It's about winning the thing. And once you win the thing, I call you a winner, and I leave it at that. Now, Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts have not yet won a Super Bowl title. So why don't we at least wait and see who should get your so-called credit before we even have that argument? It feels like the only figure every football fan is in agreement on right now is Saquon Barkley, who was rejected by his former team, the New York Giants, and then goes to their rivals and has an all-time great season. I think there are many, many football fans rooting for Saquon Barkley to be the guy who beats the Kansas City Chiefs, and he really is the Eagles' best chance of dethroning the Kansas City Chiefs. And yeah, another reason to root for him is because of the running back position. I mean, we've just become so obsessed with the quarterbacks that we don't even talk about running backs, even though there are really good ones out there improving teams. Derrick Henry was a really great fit for the Ravens. Barkley with the Eagles. I like the running back position. I like seeing a guy run the ball. I don't love watching quarterbacks run all of the time. Yes, Josh Allen is really good at running. Lamar Jackson is really good at running. But it kind of becomes, let somebody else do something on your football team, please. So the Philadelphia Eagles, who have one of the best running quarterbacks, went out and got an elite running back, and it made all of the difference. I think that's a good lesson to learn. Let the running back run the ball and pay the running back, because the New York Giants were terrible without Saquon, and they paid quarterback Daniel Jones instead of Barkley. One of the biggest mistakes in NFL history, and the Eagles are reaping the benefits of that mistake. Absolutely no one is talking about this actual football game because everyone believes that no matter how close the game is, is the Kansas City Chiefs are going to walk away with their third straight Super Bowl title, and I can't say I disagree with that opinion. I believe the Chiefs are going to win because they have Patrick Mahomes, they have Travis Kelce, who might not be the same Travis Kelce he was a few years ago, but you know he's going to come up with a big play, and they have Andy Reid, the best offensive coach in football right now. They might not look like the best versions of themselves, but when they have to have it kind of play, they get that play. They convert on those big third downs. They get the touchdowns. They get the field goals. They make the plays that it takes to win football games. And in the NFL, you always go with the best quarterback, and the Kansas City Chiefs have the best quarterback. Yes, great quarterbacks have lost Super Bowls to lesser quarterbacks, but they are few and far between. All of the money should be on Patrick Mahomes because he's Patrick Mahomes. He hasn't lost playoff games to quarterbacks not named Tom Brady and Joe Burrow. So as much as you might like Jalen Hurts, it's impossible to say that you would pick Jalen Hurts in a big game against Patrick Mahomes. What's going on with the Kansas City Chiefs is something that goes on with every dynasty in every sport. I mean, they start off, they're really exciting. You're like, who are these people? Who is Patrick Mahomes? This guy is exciting to watch football. And then as they go on, they kind of just stay consistent. They might not always have the best regular seasons, but at the end of the day, you know they're going to be the ones who take home the title. It was the same for Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors, Derek Jeter with the New York Yankees, Tom Brady with the New England Patriots. There were some years where the Patriots were not clearly the best team in football, yet you knew because they had Tom Brady, because they had Bill Belichick, that they were going to walk away with the big one. And you have those same feelings about Patrick Mahomes, and here we are with him getting another chance to get another Super Bowl. Dynastic teams are not always exciting. We grow tired of them because they're doing the same things over and over again, and they're just constant. They don't always get better, but they're there and they know how to win. Joe Montana with the San Francisco 49ers knew how to win football games. Patrick Mahomes knows how to win football games. He might not be throwing for 50 touchdowns in a regular season anymore, but come playoff time, he's going to make that big play. He's going to be more explosive, and he's going to play his best game yet because he's a winner and he's done it before. Think about this. The past 2 seasons for Mahomes, 27 touchdowns and 26 touchdowns. That's less than 30 touchdowns. He's not the best regular season quarterback, but he's still the best postseason quarterback, and that's all that matters. That's the only thing that's truly going to impact his legacy. He doesn't need to win MVPs anymore. He just needs to keep on winning Super Bowls, and I believe he realizes that. All Mahomes has to do to be realized as the best quarterback of all time is to win more Super Bowls than Tom Brady. It's no longer about the stats. It's no longer about the MVPs. If he gets more than 7 Super Bowls, he will no doubt be viewed as a greater quarterback than Tom Brady. And I don't know if that's right or wrong. I mean, Tom Brady had great statistical seasons after his 30s and even after his 40s. Will Mahomes have that same kind of stats? I don't know the answer to that. I'm interested to see. What I can tell right now is he's super invested in winning, which is the right thing to be because he knows that's what the legacy is going to come down to. How many Super Bowl titles did you win? I hear a little chatter about Andy Reid becoming the best head coach of all time, but I don't really think that that's gotten a lot of noise because nobody really cares about the head coach. I mean, the whole Bill Belichick thing is because the media was obsessed with Bill Belichick because he treated them wrong or whatever. I don't think people care about who the greatest coach of all time is the same way they care about the quarterback position. This is something that I wanted to talk about on this very podcast. I want to say to the people saying that no one is interested in this year's Super Bowl that is a losing battle. They will say it was a ratings hit. Having said that, being popular does not make football a great product. I think we as a society are still obsessed with football, fantasy football, the stats, the quarterbacks, everything, the Travis Kelce's, the Taylor Swifts. We like football. We like watching football on Sundays. Do I think we are living in the height of football? Absolutely not. I think football has been better in past years. I don't think this has been the best year for football. I'm not in love with the product as I have been in the past. I don't think it's been great. Having said all that, you can't deny how much it dominates the culture. People are going to be talking about the halftime show with Kendrick Lamar. People are going to be talking about whether or not Mahomes gets the free-peat done. People are going to talk about Nick Sirianni. People are going to talk about Jalen Hurts in a mainstream way. And what I mean by that is people that do not watch football each and every Sunday are going to be watching the Super Bowl, and you don't get that in other sports. As much as I love basketball, non-basketball fans don't just all of a sudden watch the NBA Finals. I know some of them do, but that's not really the case. Same with baseball. You don't not follow baseball and then all of a sudden go, yes, the World Series is upon us. But that still happens with the Super Bowl. It's the only sporting event like that where it gets its own weekend. Super Bowl weekend, Super Bowl Sunday. It's a big deal whether we want it to be or not. And I can't reiterate this enough. I'm more annoyed with the media coverage of what's become the Super Bowl than the actual game itself. I mean, these media personalities want the big referee scandal. They want Patrick Mahomes to get the free-peat. They want this game to be complete and total chaos so that for the next 3 to 4 weeks, all they can do is talk about this game and what went down with it. None of them, and I mean absolutely none of them, care if it's an actual good game or not. They just wanted to be content for them to talk about for 24 to 48 hours straight. I know I mocked Nate Burleson, but I think his analysis was coming from an honest place. Like, that is a man who clearly cares about the sport of football, and I don't want to be somebody who tells him his sport's not great right now. I don't want to be that guy, but I feel like the other people who are honing in on the sport, like the Stephen A. Smiths, do not care about the sport. They just care about the topics that come out of the sport that they can talk about. I have personally had an up and down relationship with the sport of football. Sometimes I'm really loving it, sometimes not so much. This is a year where I'm not super hyped on the Super Bowl. My team's not in the Super Bowl. Now, if my team were in the Super Bowl, I would probably have a way more positive attitude about it. That's human nature, but you have to admit that some people are down on the Super Bowl because they don't want to see the same old teams play each other again. I think people wanted to see the Commanders make it to the Super Bowl to see a rookie quarterback in the big game. Way more people would be excited for this game if it was between the Buffalo Bills and the Washington Commanders. I just believe that to be true. My point and what I've been talking about on this podcast is even the die-hard football fans are tired of the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's fine. That's what happens with dynasties. We grow tired of them, but it's okay to want something else. We don't have to in the moment go, wow, we should really be appreciating greatness and what we're seeing here with Patrick Mahomes. No, it's fine if you're not appreciating it, that you're tired of it. We're not all of a sudden all going to become Kansas City Chiefs fans. That's not how sports works. It's been working like this forever. People root against dynasties, and right now people are rooting hard against the Kansas City Chiefs. What's happening with this Super Bowl is that both sides are mad at each other. The people that are pumped up about the Super Bowl, like Nate Burleson, are mad that people like me are not treating this like the huge event it's always been, and then the people on the other side are saying, I'm not a fan of the Chiefs, I don't want to see another dynasty, and I don't care if you think Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback of all time. I'm sick of seeing him on my television win football games every Sunday. And the last thing I'll say about this is I don't think that either side is right or wrong. I don't need you to agree with me that you're sick of watching the Chiefs win. I'm tired of them, and a lot of people are, but if you're not, that's okay too. We can both exist. The Chiefs are probably going to win their third Super Bowl. It's going to be a repeat. I'm okay with the fact that they're probably going to become the greatest football team of all time. I've accepted that fact. It doesn't mean I have to enjoy the ride while I'm on it. I can admire it. I can appreciate it. It doesn't mean that I have to like it. It's really hard to win Super Bowls, and the Chiefs are doing it at a scary rate, and they may continue to do it it at a scary rate as long as they have Andy Reid as their head coach and Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback. There's never going to be a consensus about this team. We're not all of a sudden the people who are down on them going to go, yeah, I was wrong that whole time. I should really be appreciating the Kansas City Chiefs and the fact that I'm alive to see them. Nobody's going to have that opinion. I think both sides just need to be quiet about it and watch the Super Bowl. Like, let's just see how this plays out. Like, the anger about the Chiefs' greatness feels way too overboard for a team that hasn't repeated yet. On that note, go Eagles, I guess. Thanks for listening to this edition of Head to Head. I'm Cam McKinney, and there'll be a new episode of the podcast every Monday on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So please rate, review, and subscribe.